Hello students, welcome to the first lecture of Organizational Behavior course. And before starting off this lecture, I would like to provide the overview of this course first. This course has divided into 5 different modules, and categorization of module is based on the level of organizational behavior. So first two modules deal with the individual level factors of organizational behavior. And in the first module, we will be discussing about foundation and importance of organizational behavior and the areas which are constituting the organizational behavior and the major challenges faced by managers dealing with the people in the present era. This module will also be focusing on different personality traits and theories of personality and how our personality has an impact on our performance and behavior at the workplace. In the second module, we will be discussing about the perceptual process, how we draw the picture while looking at any object, any other thing in general, and how we make the decision in our life on the basis of the pictures which we draw in our mind and how it affects our decision making as well. In this module, we will be also talking about different type of learning. Learning, how we learn, how we make the decision on the basis of learning, what are the behaviors we show on the basis of our learning. So there are three different learning theories which is being covered in your syllabus. The first theory is classical conditioning theory. Second is reinforcement or operant conditioning theory. And third is social learning theory. In the third module, we will be talking about emotional intelligence, stress management, and different type of job attitudes. In the fourth module, we will be talking about different motivational theories and what organization can do to motivate employees and different type of team dynamics and the factors affecting the team effectiveness and how to enhance the team effectiveness at the workplace. In the fifth module, we will be talking about leadership behavior, leadership traits, and leadership effectiveness, and conflict management at the workplace. So, in short, I provided you overview of this course, which we would be covering in 45 lectures. And the major pedagogy, we would be having lecture, different type of activities, psychometric test, and few other class tests as well, case studies, and all these things we would be looking forward for your active participation as well. So this lecture, so major objective of this session is to define the organizational behavior, evolution and foundation of organizational behavior, discuss the importance of organizational behavior, and also discuss the components of organizational behavior. So, the first question which arises in our mind after looking and hearing this term OB, organizational behavior. So, first I would like to define it, what it is and how it is being conceptualized at the various places and what are the importance of it. Basically, it is being defined as a field of study which impacts that how individual, group, organizational structure have an impact on organization through their behavior. Through their behavior means if we are going to the workplace, we show certain behavior. For example, the first day I went to organization and I have been asked to meet with my boss. I visited his or her cabin and gave my introduction that I have joined today and so forth. Like I have given introduction to my boss. Now, once I entered in his or her cabin, from the same place, we start showing our performance, we start showing our gesture and behaviors to other people. Means how we entered in the room, how we took the permission, how we greeted the person. So what are these things? I'm showing certain behavior, and these behavior are going to determine how what type of person I am and what type of interpersonal skills I carry it. Whether I am going to work as a good team person or I am, maybe I would say, I am not so fit for the organization for while showing all these small things at the work and behavior at the workplace. So this study of organizational behavior basically help us to investigate how our behavior, this was the individual part. Now the group means there are more than 7, 8, 10 people are working in one department. They are dependent on each other in terms of their working, because one task cannot be completed unless the other person contribute on it. Now once the group start working together, they also show behavior. Now you can ask, how do they show their behavior? So it is very common, whether they are just arguing with each other or maybe for any decision everyone is yes man. If one person has said I think this one is better, then other 8% has said yes, 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 all done. So what is this? A group has shown certain behavior. Maybe group are fighting with group members are fighting with each other and having lot of conflict. Again, it's a sub behavior. Maybe we hear the term politics. ये group बहुत politics करते हैं. So what it is? This is again a behavior. The third factor is organizational level factors. What type of value system that organization has? What type of structure that organization has? If any decision has to be taken, so whether it's a flat structure or maybe many a times there is a tall structure. Tall structure means one person cannot take decision unless or until it is approved by almost 5 to 6 authorities. So again it is showing a behavior. We hear the term, it is the best organization to work for. You know what it is reflecting? It is reflecting an organizational culture. Means people are happy to work with the organization. Whenever any people apply for any job, these days reviews are available in Google. They Google it about that organization and they read the comment of people, and on the basis of those comments they decide whether they should join that or maybe apply for the job or not. Because at many places people have also written, oh, this organization sucks, lot of politics, very bad culture, they never treat people properly. So what they are reflecting, they are talking about an organization which is showing a negative behavior. So this course or this uh, field enables us to understand all such behaviors and again, while understanding it, enhancing our performance. So in short, I would say organizational behaviors provide a set of tools that allow first people to understand, analyze and describe behavior in organizations. I gave example. And then managers and employees to improve, enhance or change work behavior so that the individuals, group and overall organization are able to achieve their goals which is being set for them. So it covers both the aspects. First, individual development and second is organizational development, because there is a purpose why people are working together. I can say now this is a class and in this class maybe 60 students are registered. There is a purpose for this class, this section. Everyone wants to get an MBA degree, and not only the degree but a good career after completion of this course. So there is a purpose, but how the whole batch would achieve it? First is there will be an individual effort, and second is there are faculty members, institution, which will facilitate the things to you so that you work effectively and achieve the target. So what it is talking about? First is individual part and second is organizational part. How this concept of organizational came into the picture? Can we say that organization came first and then on the basis of organization these theories are being developed? Or companies were working since long and then the theories are being made? So what is true? Theories came first or the practices came later? So here the question arises, how many companies are still working after 300 or 200, 250 years of their inception? Yes, there are many companies who are 250 years old, 260 years old and still they are making profit and surviving in the present era as well. Can you imagine how many technological changes, how many political changes, environmental changes these companies had seen and is still surviving and making a profit? So we really can't say that theory came first and organizations are started following it. In fact, on the basis of the company's functioning and the requirement, gradually with the demand, these theories are being developed. So as we can maybe if you did BBA or maybe any other management course, so you might have heard about the scientific management theory. So in the management zone, different type of theories are being established to make the organizational effective at the workplace and to work efficiently at the workplace. So the first theory, which was given by the Taylor, he talked about scientific management theory and the major focus was on organizational efficiency, how to enhance the task efficiency. In that theory, the major focus was on in 1 hour how much production is being done. Definitely that production was done in collaboration with the man and machine, but this theory was treating the people like a machine. Was it possible? Can we treat people as machine? Can one person efficiency would be similar to the other person? So it depends on several factors which were being ignored. And that's why this theory came out more of a exploitative factors rather than a supportive factors to the human being. And that was the major disadvantage of theory. Yes, this theory focused a lot on time management and some other good things, but lacked in human approach. Next to this, the administrative management theory was being introduced by Fayol, and he had a focus on both administrative aspects with the human approach. He talked about team building. He talked about how to make the structure which could enable the people to work effectively. But due to lack of experience, and maybe this theory had a very narrow approach, and that's why this theory also started addressing the human factors, and but yes, lacked in some scientific way factors. Due to it, yes, the third theory, this behavioral management theory, is came into the existence. See, like these days, you people come across, okay, this is a Android and then Windows, and there is update of Windows. Why these updates are required? Because the previous softwares were not fulfilling some factors and were lacking in something, and some improvements are required. So similarly here, just to make the organizational effective, surviving in the workplace, and making the profit and dealing with the people properly, so these theories are being addressed. Here on the behavioral management theory, there is a origin of human relations theory. Human relations theory is started from the General Electric Company. General Electric Company, this study, they had done the study, and this study is named as Hawthorne study. Hawthorne study, this was an electrical company, and in this electrical company, they did experiment. This experiment that Mayo and Fritz has done this experiment, they wanted to see whether there is any relationship of quality and quantity of light on the employees' efficiency. They basically wanted to see whether these light or maybe the infrastructure factor has an impact on employees' productivity. This experiment is started with this notion. But surprisingly, they came out with a very different approach. And then they did the series of experiment to validate it. As I said, there is not only one way or one go part where we validate it. Yes, this behavior has an impact on certain thing. So they also did the chain of experiment. So this General Electric company, they found that the human behavior has a major impact on the productivity. And how they came out, the results, in fact, experimenters, they were shocked to see the results. uh, Once they found that once workers were given choice to choose their group members, their performance got increased. And also in one, there was another finding from the same study. They started with a different notion, but yes, they came out with different result. Once they found that their supervisor or manager, they care about them, they are focusing on them, that yes, you are doing well. And once they get yes, my supervisor is having a sympathetic approach towards me, and has a care about me. So this enhance their job satisfaction and the workplace and the work performance. Their productivity got increased. So this result had put an emphasis on more of a human relations approach. Yes. So this human relations approach were found to be more effective for enhancing the productivity as compared to any infrastructure factor, as compared to any technical factor. Technical factor means like working conditions, like this light. Maybe if there is a dim light, but if they have a good team members, then definitely their productivity got increased. So from this point, this organizational behavior, emphasis on organizational behavior, studies on behavior uh, got highlighted. Now, there are lessons which we say this is the foundation for organizational behavior. First, people are key to the productivity. Because yes, people can have machines, definitely. But machines are just the facilitator. Who works on machine? It's people. So they are key to the productivity. And their success depends on the motivated how this came out in from the Hawthorne study. Once they found that their supervisors are focusing on them, have a sympathetic approach. So there was a different way. Focusing on them means yes, you can do it. So this is a motivation, and the skilled individuals committed to the organizations. Managerial sensitivity to employees is necessary to foster the cooperation needed for the high productivity in the organization. So from this theory, gradually organizations started putting emphasis on human relations, interpersonal relationship, team building, people focused approach. So, so that their productivity and effectiveness could get enhanced. So these are the importance of organizational behavior or understanding the organizational behavior. The first is we have we know about the behavior of people. Behavior of people means there are key behaviors which give results at the workplace. We really can't use the term that that person has negative attitude. Oh, this will not suffice the purpose. If I know that the person has negative attitude, but we really can't terminate people saying this, the person has negative attitude. Definitely we need to get the result from them. So what to do? How to deal with the people, how to enhance the performance. This is the key things which the understanding of OB help us. Second is the process of management. Process of management means how the things are being laid down in the organization. What are the cooperation factors? How to get the work done through others? What is the chain for it? The third is organizational context. Context means maybe the company is same but has different branches. One branch is in village. Definitely that's a context. Village means how to deal with the people. And the other branch is in city, that urban place. Definitely their customer set would be totally different. So this help us to understand the context and work accordingly. Then interact with the external environment where the organization is placed. External environment, you can say yes, politics has also come, political factor, economical factor, what economy is saying, where the company is based, this is again environment. So this interaction with the external environment help people to make the work effective, so that again further organization could survive for a longer time. The second a point for understanding of OB is enhancing the managerial effectiveness. Enhancing the managerial effectiveness, definitely people can say, oh, the degree I will earn, does it matter or only behavior matter? It matters. It matters in a sense. I give you example of iceberg. How many of you are aware of the characteristic of iceberg? Maybe. I tell you. Iceberg is visible only 20% of its actual size. It means once anyone will look at the iceberg, so no one can make out the actual size of it. Reason is the 80% of its actual size is below the water. Here, the technical skills and quantitative skills of an employees are the, the those part of iceberg which is visible to us. That is only 20%. And what is the most important factor? That 80% which is below water, because that is the heavier size. What it is in us? It's our behavior. It's our aspiration. It is our potential. It is our leadership and communication skills. You can ask, ma'am, how? Now I tell you. You are looking at me. I did not say a single word. Now, while looking at me, and you are aware only of my qualification. You said, okay, ma'am is doctorate. Oh, good. Maybe ma'am is learned. Well, because my degree is saying I am learned. I may be, I may not be. Reason is I am taking this class. How I am going to be interactive in the class, how I am going to deliver the lecture, whether my students will understand my lecture. So it is dependent on which factor? How you will get the clarity of concept? Yes, technical. I know the concept. I know what OB is. I know what concept says. But how I am going to deliver it is more important than knowing. Means my communication skills. How I am going to communicate it clearly to you so that you understand it. So this is the 80% and the 20% is technical and quantitative skills. So leadership and interpersonal skills, communication skills, our motivation skills, how we deal with the people, how we deal in the or maybe cope up in the critical situation, how we manage the change, how we implement the change. So these are the things which is important. Now, how organization benefits of the skilled managers? Because you are aware, if the people are skilled, definitely organization is going to be benefited. So first is lower turnover of quality employees. Turnover, here lower turnover says that less number of employees will leave the organization if they are being treated properly. Higher quality application of recruitment. If organizational goodwill will be high in the market, then definitely good candidates will join and few candidates will leave the organization. And then ultimately it will have an impact on their financial performance. So these were the major importance of organizational behavior. Now I would like to brief about the components of organizational behavior. Components of organizational behavior means if we need to understand this course or this concept, then it requires to study the three levels. The three levels, as I mentioned at the beginning of the course itself, the first is individuals in organization, means employees. Then comes the group and team process. Group and team process means there are different departments, there are different project teams. How do they work? How do they behave? How they are providing the outcome? What type of culture they are having in their group? And other processes they are following it. Then third is organizational process. Organizational process means what are the policies are made for the people, how they are going to deal with the employees, what welfare practices organizations are having, what type of culture organizations are having. Whenever you go to the market and you try to purchase anything, you focus on brand. You try to compare the brand. Brand is associated with the organizational factor. You say, oh, this brand, they cheat a lot. They never give the proper customer service. It means what you are talking about, their practices. So these are the again organizational factors. So there are three levels, means power and politics in the organization. These are organizational factor. How the organization has emerged, on which philosophy, what value system they are having it. So these are covered under organizational process. So yes, in these three levels we would be covering in various modules to understand organizational behavior. In the next lecture, we will be talking about what are the areas which are contributing to organizational behavior, how it is being developed, and what are the major challenges which managers face and how to deal with it. Till now in today's lecture, we have discussed what organizational behavior is, what are the factors which make us understand what are the components of organizational behavior, and what are the levels at which these organizational behavior is understood. We have also discussed there are various management theories which have contributed to make this area more understandable. So, following are the key points, or I would say these are the takeaways on the basis of the today's lecture. The first point I would say that we have learned today, or we have covered, that how to improve factors that makes the more organization more effective. So while understanding the organizational behavior, understanding these factors becomes more important, and then on the basis of it, a person can work effectively at the workplace. The second point which we can also understand and learn from the today's lecture, that there is no one way to predict the behavior in the organization or in day-to-day life as well. But yes, it is not all about common sense. Common sense means that anyone can question mark at any point of time, oh, why to study this course? Understanding behavior, it is a common sense factor. But no, there is a systematic way of understanding the behavior, predicting the behavior at the workplace, which also gets supported by the human being's intuition and any other factor. But it's not like it is all about the common sense. The third point which we will say, this is again a takeaway for you people, that understanding OB help in various ways, and which actually help to become effective manager and effective employee at the workplace. It helps us to improve interpersonal relationship at the workplace, understanding people, so lesser the conflict. And then if we understand what are the factors which creating conflict, then definitely we really can't be a good team member, we really can't be a good leader, we really can't be a good human being itself. So understanding OB always help us in determining the managerial effectiveness. So this is all for today's lecture. In next lecture, we will be discussing what are the various disciplines which are contributing to organizational behavior. And also we will be discussing what are the major challenges which managers are facing in the present era, considering all the technological changes, economical changes. So I request all of you to study more on it so that we could discuss it more and more on tomorrow's lecture. Thank you so much for today's lecture.